to vaccinate your child, yes, that's a parental choice. We're not trying to deny that. But to say that this is the new civil rights movement is far from. I think it diminishes all the struggles that we've gone through in this country for the last 200 years.
Protests breaking out at the state capitol earlier this week over the controversial vaccine bill. Governor Newsom signing in 2 new laws that limit medical exemptions for vaccines of school children. And that's how we're going to ring the bell for round number 2 with our panel for the week, Joe Kita, Philip Teresi, and Ricardo Franco. Philip, I want to come to you on this one first because you have kids.
I do.
And you think the state here is overreaching, overstepping, not allowing you to be a parent here for making those decisions?
That's the
about
thing that makes me so mad about this. That completely loaded setup should be the tee off to, yes, the state's overreaching, this is horrible, this is immoral, it's unconstitutional. I vaccinated my kids. And if it wasn't for, I want to talk to the manager, Barbie, getting her medical information off of Facebook and Jenny McCarthy's Instagram feed, this wouldn't be necessary. But I don't want to see innocent kids get killed because dumb people get their medical information from Wikipedia and Natural Earth blogs. So I hate it, but unfortunately right now I'm going to stand back and let Governor Newsom sign it.
Yeah, well, he did, and so you have no problem there.
No.
The legislation also giving California the authority to revoke a medical exemption deemed inappropriate by a state physician or public health officer. I'll come to you. I know I would assume you're in favor of this, Ricardo, but
for much the same reasons that my friend over here just mentioned, actually.
Right,
this is a public safety issue.
But again, now are we policing doctors now?
Doctors have always been policed from the the medical association.
From the medical board, but now this is by the state capitol and lawmakers.
This is in the interest of public safety. Yes, we want our children to be safe, but at the same time, if we let people go out there that are not vaccinated, that allows, scientific evidence shows, some of these diseases and viruses to mutate, which could actually later infect healthy people who have been vaccinated. That's why we have vaccines. That's why we've eradicated a lot of these diseases within the United States. So that's where government does step in, when it's a public good, a public safety that you have to secure for everybody.
Joe, you saw all the protests there at the state capitol, and you heard one of the lawmakers there from Los Angeles. He was talking about, hey, this is not a civil rights movement. This is just being civil and doing the right thing. Do you agree with that assessment?
Well, I tell you what, I heard the protests too because somebody put my phone number on speed dial. And so I was getting a ton of calls.
It was not me, Joe, I promise.
So my office phone was ringing, but I think this one obviously is an issue that that the governor had to weigh, and he had to figure out what he wanted to do on this. And I think in this case he signed it because he saw the public need here to have vaccinated children and not have an outbreak of these diseases that are coming back because of kids who aren't vaccinated.
Well, one that is really causing a stir, AB-5. Now, it's on the governor's desk, but it is an attack on the gig economy where it's really thrived here in California. Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, now they're going to be called what? Full-time employees if he signs it, union members, a lot of things going in here where, you know what, they're no longer just being entrepreneurs or taking a second job to help maybe their families. I've talked to these drivers all the time. What do you think about AB-5? All the drivers that I've talked to say, I hate it and I don't want to go down that route. Ricardo, is the state trying to get rid of the gig economy? And that could be really impactful here for the state of California.
They're trying to take a step in one direction. This, unfortunately, looking at it just as AB-5 and the gig economy is not looking at the broader issue in which the economy might look like it's doing well and unemployment's low, but that's because all that wealth is getting transferred up to the richest people, and unemployment is low is because people are taking second and third jobs like these within the gig economy.
Yeah, but they want to because it's an extra source of employment when they want it to be.
They have to because they need it to pay regular bills just to survive nowadays. 45% of people who are homeless, by the way, are employed. When you have an economy that is in that much trouble, you've got to do something. And I understand the push and the move in what this bill is trying to do, but I think there's a lot more comprehensive that we have to do to look at in the California economy and the nation's economy as a whole.
Philip, what do you say to that?
I worked gig economy for years and years. I went out and did IT work for anybody who would hire me. I did it for cash, for check. Sometimes I did it for a 6-pack of beer. And I was perfectly content doing that because I could set my hours, I could make as much or as little money as I wanted, and as long as I reported it properly on my taxes.
And the beer was not imported.
the Franchise Tax Board was fine with it. This thing is so overly broad. You've got Uber drivers, truck drivers, nail technicians, rabbis, strippers, nurse practitioners. What other circumstance do you lump all of these people and all of these income levels together and say, blanket solution? It's a terrible law.
Joe, I mean, obviously, at least as journalists, we know that we're not part of the gig economy, but still, kinda, because a lot of us have freelanced in our time, and you know, we've taken money, you know, to take freelance gigs when we need it, or just because it pays well or something like that. Entrepreneurship, is that going by the wayside here?
You know, in this case too, I do want to make one mention that this really could affect the bee, because newspaper carriers are part of this as well. And I know they're trying to pass a bill to try to exclude that. But the other point I wanted to make about it as well is I'm just not sure if this is going to stand for very long. So the opinions editor Ted Weber and I had a call with Lyft last week, and they're preparing a ballot measure on this. And I'm sure that's going to get on the ballot in the next election. And this will be...
It's going to head to the courts, too. Are we all in agreement that this is heading to the courts as well?
But one comment I have about this, which is probably a little bit different than the gigs we just mentioned, Uber and Lyft's argument is that they are not rideshare companies. They are technology companies. That's what they do. So drivers in the context of contractors are doing something out of their normal scope. This is why the legal challenges will be interesting, because I can tell you we have far too many people in elected offices and on benches that don't know enough about how technology works, how software is written, and to see this play out is going to be interesting.
I got to punctuate it there, but guess what? We're going to have a lot more from these guys on Sunday Morning Matters Extra. You can catch that on yourcentralvalley.com. Up next, the High-Speed Rail Authority hires a big voice from the Valley. Former Fresno mayoral candidate Henry Perea taking over as the new board of directors. What the bullet train in downtown Fresno and how it impacts it.